Next in the series of the Uchideshi home program is Happogiri with the Jo. So you've done the Ken Saburis, you've done Happogiri with the Ken, you've done Jo Saburis, all 20, trying to, over time, perhaps you're still working through them. Repetitions of 5, trying to get 3 feeling the same. Then we've gone on to doing the Jo and the Ken, trying to feel the Ken, 7 Ken Saburis done with the Jo, and feeling that they feel both the same, and try and remove your mind saying, oh, at the moment I've got a Jo in my hand, or at the moment I've got a Ken in my hand. So we've got to this stage where we're trying to make our body movement and the actual movement the same. Now we're going to move on. You've already done, you should have separated the 20 Jo Saburis by just doing them in repetitions in the earlier films. Now Happogiri with the Jo, I suggested that you do Shomanichi cuts, so what is the first Saburi, and then you could do Happogiri, one forward, one back, replicate what you've done with the Ken, exactly the same format, save me going through it all again. You're going to do repetitions of 5, you're trying to get 3 feeling the same. When they do feel the same, you move on to 4 stages of direction, so it becomes the cross. Then you do 6 stages, and then go on to 8 stages, but don't be in a rush, and you're going to be doing it with the Jo. Hopefully you're going to do what you've just done in the previous film, is you're going to make the Jo feel the same as you felt with the Ken. The footwork has to be the same as the Ken in this particular stage. We're building up footwork now and Ken and Jo work, so the body is at ease no matter what you're really got in your hands. It must become part of your makeup, part of your building of oneness. If this item you're holding feels different and feels separate, then you're not as one with your Ken or Jo, baseball bat, or whatever it may be that you're trying to become one with. So Happogiri with the Jo. Once you've found that you can do 3 of these through the whole 8 directions with the Jo, the same as with the Ken, you can then go on to doing other things like the 6th Saburi or the 7th Saburi. There's multiple different angles and Saburis that you can add and add and add. This will be up to you, but remember, when you add something, let's supposing you're decided to with the Jo add the 7th Ken Saburi, but with the Jo, that's fine as long as you are still looking for the repetitions of 5 and achieving 3 feeling the same. You're not just trying to add lots of different movements for the sake of you expanding your knowledge field of being able to conjure up different movements. One that I love very much is Hasogaishi Uchi, because that way you can do a whole 360 turn with the feet, is what you should be aiming for. So you do a forwards, and then hasso and back, forwards, strike, hasso, back. And then you build up, once you've done 5 of those and 3 felt the same, you do strike, hasso, and then you turn with the hasso and you strike the opposite way. Again, 5 of those, repetition of trying to get 3 feeling the same as the Ken and Jo. You then move on to 4 movements, 6 movements, 8 movements. Each time, small pause after each 5, How did you get on? Did you get 3 that felt the repetition feel the same with your feet as well as your hands, your body? If the target is 3, it's very hard to get just 3 that you can repeat time and time again, and it might take you years, but set this as a long-term goal. Everybody wants it now, everybody wants to do it immediately, but set it as a long-term goal that you will achieve it. You know, if you're determined and say, I will achieve it, even if I don't now, don't be disheartened. Don't worry about it. Some will work better than others. You might find that even 6 movements with the Ken or Jo might be better than the 4 movements, the 8 movements. You'll find a niche where your body just seems to feel happier in a certain segment than others. So then you do the Happogiri, as I say, with the Hasso movement. Once you've done the 7 Ken Suburi with the Jo, I'd like you to move on to using the Hasso. So the Hasso with a strike. And once you've achieved this, then you can start adding the Suburis, but add them with the Hasso. So they all start with the Hasso, and then you can add the forward thrust, you can add a backward thrust. Your aim is to do the 8 directions, and eventually you're aiming to do a 360, so you go all the way round to you're starting with your Jo in front of you, you do the Hasso, you go all the way around 360, and then you cut finally in the direction that you started. So you're starting by holding the Jo, you're holding the Jo in front of you in the Kamae posture, and from there your foot goes all the way round and you come back to where you first started in posture, and you do a strike, and you're doing repetitions again of 5 of these, aiming for 3 to feel the same. And this is the next stage of your program. By now, if I'm correct, you should be up to 50 ukemis, forward ukemis that is, continuous without breathing, stopping, pausing whatsoever, and you should be up to about 35 backward ukemis without stopping, and you're getting fitter. If you're above that, if you're up to 60, 80 forward ukemis, then great. One day my student was able to do 200 ukemis without stopping, with weights on his wrists and on his feet, not too heavy, but sand weights, a kilo each on each wrist, so 4 kilos added to it, and he done 200 non-stop, and after 4 months this was, and training and living with me every day. So I don't expect you to get to that, because only the very, very best ever will reach, I would say, 100 without stopping. If you want to prove me wrong, then I'm more than happy that you do this. Thank you for your time. And again, if any of this is unclear, please get in touch with me and I'll go through it slowly again on film, or I will contact you and go through it clearly. My aim is for you to get fitter and more professional, and above all, love your Aikido.